Why does Java not allow multiple inheritance? Uncle Bob. Hello, I'm Chris Tennis. I'm a KMP developer, tech support Zed. They're coming out for that on Tuesday, and I really believe them this time. Today I'm going to be reviewing a video from my favorite guy, from one of my favorite clip channels, DevTools Made Simple. Go over there, give them a like and subscribe. And I gotta turn this up. And let's see what Uncle Bob says about multiple inheritance, which I go over in my course, How to Program from the Ground Up, which is completely free. There's no upsells, no upgrades. It's just completely free. All I want is a star. And I go into detail with diagrams and other people, Jaeger Buyinko and Alan Kay, about all why object-oriented programming got distorted and taken off into a left field by accident by two people who were trying to make a language and get their ideas out there, and one just kind of won over. Called Yarn Strip with C++. He allows this stuff, and I don't know how people allowed it, but C++ was just, let's put everything in there. Let's be the language that has every single feature, every single idea, every single half-baked concept, half-implemented concept is thrown in there and make people, well, if you can't figure it out, you're the dummy. It's like, I don't know. I just think how you put this thing together did you not really fully fleshed out and kind of just slapped together. So thank God we have Kotlin, which has cleared out a lot of those bad ideas and got people on the straight and narrow a little bit more than what's going on. And with what's in C++ and Java, they smartly said, no, we're not doing the multiple inheritance baloney. Let's see what Uncle Bob has to say about it.
Why does Java not have multiple inheritance? Wait. Why does C# not have multiple inheritance? Because Java doesn't have it.
Okay.
Fair
enough. Copycat. Okay, they just being silly. Let's keep going.
Does Java not have multiple inheritance? The diamond problem.
Right.
And the diamond problem has been solved. The diamond problem is simple. You get a base class.
The diamond problem. I hated when I first heard this. I'm like, you're just like inheriting different things from different two things you're inheriting from that might have the same name thing in here. And how are you going to differentiate? Well, you pick one. A has to pick one. I'm picking B's from the list of these things from here, the list of things here. And then, and D is like the base class, I guess. Okay, it's the diamond problem. It's like, yeah, you're going to have to pick one or the other. There'll either be some rule which gets picked, or you have to actually say which one. And that's how C++ handles it. You have to prescribe which one you want to do. And then you have to remember which one of each one of these things you're doing. This is where that whole, we're going to reuse the code, like that whole thing went through even though VR even says, don't do that. That's not what this is for. But it doesn't matter. All they heard was code reuse. And they got $1 million on that code base. They want to reuse it. And they want to keep going with it. It's like, no, you're just going to cause problems. So this is one of the ideas. They said, we're going to take a little from here, a little bit from here, and schmiggity-biggity-biggity, and we may have a confusing mess of spaghetti that's unable to be maintained other than by geniuses who have intimate knowledge about how these things are put together in their internal core. Okay, let's keep going.
Derivative, two base classes. Both those base classes have a common base class. This is the deadly.
You would think that with this guy's budget and his conferences and going out with computers, you would think you'd have a better slide presentation to describe this other than hand waving. Let's keep going.
Diamond of death. And there's
the diamond of death. How do you describe it? The diamond of death. He's like such a wartime Patton. I'm going to give you a speech, and we're going to take that hill. Take that hill, boys. In the morning, we're going to launch our attack into Europe and push those Ruskies back. This is what he's kind of...
There's a huge ambiguity around that. We won't go into the details.
The details are you have to pick one or the other. Well, how much does the details? I don't have to go into the details. Well, no, you're talking to technical people about a technical problem in a language, and then you're kind of hiding it over. Do you really understand the diamond problem? Why it's not really. I mean, you could do it once while you're writing it. You're hack something together, but it becomes an unmaintainable mess very quickly after that. Come on, man. I hope he mentions it. I hope he mentions that. But let's see what he has to say.
But why?
And it is based on this detail.
Why didn't they resolve it? Because it had been resolved many times before by many other languages.
Okay.
Why didn't Java resolve this?
Oh, he said just the user has to pick. What do you mean? I resolved it in different ways. And I was like, make the developer have to understand both of the APIs, see how they mesh together, and then they have to pick and design which functions are being called from which things based on for this new class. Yeah, that's super scalable, by the way. Not.
To simplify the compiler. This is my best guess. They were too lazy to deal with it, so they invented some horrible hack called interface. And they stuck that in the language instead. And we all bow and revere the interface. Ooh, interface.
I mean, they just took a bad idea. Interface is a good idea, but they made a bad idea by saying, well, we can just bring a whole bunch of them together. It's like, yes, you can do that, but that causes another cascading problem, which they didn't mention at the time. And it's like, well, let's see what happens. And then realize, oh, yeah, you do like this once, you might be able to get away with it. You do it like all over your code base, it just becomes a complete nightmare of like, what the hell's going on?
Interfaces are good. Interfaces are wonderful. An interface is nothing but an abstract class with a bunch of abstract methods in it.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. So, okay, you're being semantic on the wrong thing here. We're talking about the diamond problem. Let's keep going.
Right? It's not some special thing.
Pedantic semantics.
In fact, the only special thing in Java about an interface is what you can't do to it. You can't inherit multiple interfaces. You can't inherit multiple classes into another class. Why? Because the only thing you're allowed.
Wait. That's unfair. Wait, hold on a second. Let me think for a second. Wait, he said something super confusing about you can't have multiple interfaces. I'm pretty sure you can have multiple interfaces because you're doing things, but you can't have multiple classes. And if they, okay, let's keep going.
To multiply inherit as interfaces.
Yeah, you can multiply. You have a bunch of interfaces of all different things that you'd like to be able to do, but not the whole class. And then and if two classes have the same named function or same named variables, you have to pick one or the other. I mean, let's get it. This is overcomplicating. This is when I first encountered this, coming back to programming with Java and listening to stuff like this. It confused me more. You're actually confusing me more, Uncle Bob.
A hack. A lazy hack. They shouldn't have done that.
No,
they should
why? What are you talking about, man? He needs to show the code. Show the code, Uncle Bob.
Solved the problem.
I love how DevTools puts it in there sometimes, but he never shows the code.
Instead of just throwing it out there. And then what happened? It went into a bunch of other languages. You can tell that I'm enjoying myself here, aren't you?
Barely. I don't know, Uncle Bob. You're kind of weird, man. Some stuff you say is like, have you been using this before? Do you really understand what the problem is? I'll go into detail with it and how to program from the ground up. I mean, with Middle BS, that's my free course, which is in the DVD below. I go into why exactly it is. I show you exactly the reason. I show you how C gets away with it and how you can do it in other languages and how you may want to do it at some point, but it's like flashing danger signs if you want to think that this is a scalable operation that'll be used all over your code base. You're just like, you're going to just cause yourself to shoot yourself in the foot all day long. Okay, all right. Give me a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.